When one truly understands and has seen many times over that sin is only this activity of separation. Remember, this represents God, the divine, our true self, egolessness, no sin. And this is the activity that we do in the body-mind that is sin, which is separation from the divine. When there is no self-contraction, there is no separation from God, and one feels the body-mind purified of that self-contraction. And in that purification, the body-mind is ready to act correctly in life, ready to speak from the divine position, ready to serve. Every time we turn to God via our chosen Ishta, our chosen divine person, in my case, Adidar Samraj, every time we choose to turn away from small m me, from our narcissistic nonsense, and turn to that which is egoless, in love communion, known as satsang in Sanskrit. Every time we're giving ourselves over, we're surrendering ourselves to God, giving God permission, as it were, to live us. And in that permission, we will act and perform as God intends, because it's God living us. We are sacrificing this nonsense, which we call me, small m me. We are purified in that moment of real heart communion. And it's a graceful happening. It's the only way I know that this body-mind is purified from its nonsense. At the root of our nonsense is this self-contraction. At the root of doubt, fear, anxiety, irritations, frustrations, is this root activity, the self-contraction. No self-contraction, there's only love, joy, delight, real happiness, a feeling of being at home. I know no other way than this satsang, this holy communion, this divine communion. And as this is more and more understood, and as one sees the graceful happenings in one's life, the blessings and the gifts due to sacrificing one's attention, the more one turns and the more the tap is turned on, if you like, the tap of God, the divine, the love, joy. It's just absolutely a craziness. Not mentally crazy, it's just, it's difficult to explain. I needed Adidar to teach me, to re-educate me. You need also to be re-educated from the nonsense that we are given to believe from children upwards into our adult lives where we are full of doubt and uncertainties. If God exists, then why all this suffering? Is what we hear all the time. For centuries that's been the mantra. It's never been my mantra. Never. I've always intuitively known that God exists. God exists as love, bliss, full stop. God exists as already happiness, period. God has existed via these divine people, spiritual people, divine masters. They are gurus of the higher sense. They dispel darkness and replace it with light. See how bright I am? This brightness is due to the fact that I redirect my attention, I sacrifice my attention, I give it over, and I am blessed. I am absolutely blessed and so grateful and so I acknowledge that it's God's doing. Thank you, Lord. I just read one quote of Adidas. Where he says, if I am not, this could be said by many divine teachers. Jesus could have said this. If I am not devotionally recognized, there is an enormity of world and ego self to be figured out. And there are always a lot of things for you to seek and do. But when I am devotionally recognized, there is not anything to do anymore because there is no problem and therefore no basis for seeking. None whatsoever. Da. Right life is a product of right devotion. What I mean by right life is a life where you act and speak from the divine place, from that divine communion. So everything is simply sacrificed in the moment. Everything, from laying the table, from pouring out water, from turning on the tap, from bathing in the morning, from dressing and undressing, from going out of the house, going to the shops. Everything is a sacrifice. Everything is given over. Because it's given over automatically because there's no moment of holding on. There's no moment. You only give over when you've held on to something. So there's no holding on to anything. So everything becomes like a musical composition or play. You play each note and it's sacrifice, it's gone, it's no longer. It's the disposition, this open hand disposition. Freely gives. And my teacher Adidas Samraj freely gives All he asks of us is to turn away from this nonsense and its results. What greater message is this than this? Thank you, Lord.